Welcome to BP Leadership Podcast, where real leaders are made. I'm your host, Bill Purvis. Today, by the way, is going to be an exciting day because I've got with me my friend Neil Stillwell. Neil's what we consider the guy with a Midas touch when it comes to business. He's owned many businesses, and every one of them have become multi-million-dollar enterprises. This is going to be a great podcast today, so get ready, and let's get started right now. I am honored, one, that you're here. I thank you, Neil, for being here.
I'm honored that you asked me to be here.
Well, I have followed your life and known a lot of people that know you well, like my friend Charlie and other people, and they'll always say, have you met Neil? And I'd hear that over and over, and they would talk about your faith and your family, and then about how that you just had a gift from God in picking up a business that nobody could see anything in it, and you'd make something out of it that everybody saw. And so let me just get right started. Where were you born, and your family, what family you came from, brothers and all that, and how'd you come up? Did you always know about business? Well, give me your background.
Well, born and raised in Phoenix City, Alabama.
Uh-huh.
And my family, my dad, he was a bricklayer. And he came from a whole line of bricklayers, and I've often thought, you know, if I hadn't have got into business like I did and all that stuff, I would probably today still be a bricklayer. Yeah. Because at one point in my life, I was a bricklayer for a while. Yeah. But Daddy was a bricklayer, and he had a real back problem, and he had to have real back surgery to the point where he couldn't go back and lay brick. But he loved to cook. And he was a barbecue. He loved to cook barbecue. Yeah. So he opened a barbecue place called Bill and Neil's. I had one other older brother, and his name was Bill also.
How about that?
And later on in life, I had another brother named Phil. So Charlie's age and so it's Bill, Neil, and Phil. It ended up being a barbecue place. Some people might remember Bill, Neil, and Phil's, or Bill and Neil's Barbecue.
From there, you had three brothers raised in Phoenix City. Right. And then I think you first got, or the first part that I knew where you were known was Neil's Sporting Good. Right. You opened a sporting goods. Were you the first to do that around here? Were there others before then?
Well, it was two sporting good businesses in Columbus, like you say. That's the same. It's sort of the same as Phoenix City here. Right. It was a Bentley's and a Metcalf's. And my little business, I thought, well, you know, I went to college. I went to Columbus College for 4 quarters. Right. And I just thought, and I was married to my wife, George Nell, which has been now for 56 years next month.
Yeah, she's probably been one of the best voices in your ear all those times.
It's no doubt about it. It's no doubt about it. I wouldn't be sitting here today if it wasn't for her.
Yeah, that's it.
But in a sporting goods business, I thought, you know, Phoenix City, you know, I played ball in Phoenix City and Central and all that kind of stuff, and I thought people they know me and they're gonna buy from me because I'm from Phoenix City, and I went on a note. Daddy went on a note with me for $8,000, so I started in 1966 a sporting goods business for $8,000. Wow! And you know, so and this real important about my coming here today to tell this story, because in the end I'm gonna refer right back to the Neil Sports Shop. Yeah. And I want to tell you a little story about that if you don't mind. Okay. I want to. That's what I want to hear. We had a conversation at lunch one day, and there were a couple of stories you told, and I said that's what I want to hear more of. So let's hear it. Well, again, I went to the bank, and Daddy signed a note with me for $8,000.
And that was a lot of money back then, wasn't it?
Back then, you know, it was a lot to us. And I had a little store right on 13th Street there in Phoenix City, right next to Bowden Realty. Right. And it was a 20 by 40 building, 800 square feet is what I started in, and with my $8,000. Yeah. And I was in business. I would go out and I'd try to call on schools and recreation departments, and I had one employee that would come in and run the store during the day, hoping somebody'd come in and buy some little something. Right. And so one day he called in about January, and I went in business in July, and in January it was a cold, rainy, freezy day, just terrible. Right. And he called and said he had the flu and he wouldn't be in, so I had to stay there all day. Had a little heater, a gas heater. I mopped the floor. I rearranged all my merchandise, which didn't take long for $8,000 worth of merchandise. I rearranged all of that, and then the phone didn't even ring hardly. Nobody came in. It went in rainy, bad days. And nobody called. The phone didn't ring. I thought something's wrong. Back then days, when it rained, your phone's liable to go out. And I go check it a couple times to make sure, nobody's called. Why? So I sat there all day long, right by myself, mopped the floors, rearranged everything. And at the end of the day, I had a few people come in. And at the end of the day, I had a little sheet of paper every day. I wrote down how much business I did and, and all that stuff. And when I rung up my little cash register, I did 43 cents.
Oh, no. Wow.
Bill, I cried like a baby. I had locked the door, and I had one little petition in behind. And I went out and set it behind that door. And my wife is true. I was telling you, I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for my wife. She, just before this, she had talked to me. I was sort of heathen coming up, tell you the honest truth. My family, I love my family to death, but they wasn't church people. They didn't go. Only time I went to church is when it came softball season, and I had to go at least once a month to be eligible to play softball. So that's why I went. So I didn't go very much. I called myself a Christian because I believe in God, but I never really accepted Him like I should. And I came in, my wife, when we started that store, she said, "Honey, I'd like for you to think about tithing." I said, "Do what?" I got $8,000 in this little store and tithing. Well, she got her Bible and she read me all the scriptures and showed me where and said God would bless you. And I thought, you know what? I ain't got a whole lot going here, and that's I believe that, and it touched me, and I said I really believe that. And so I said, okay, God, I'm on tithe. And so when I did that 43 cents, I went, after I'd unlocked the door, I went back, and fear came over me like I'm a failure. I done took this $8,000, which was a lot to me at that time.
You wouldn't.
And I cried. And I said, Lord, please help me. I will tithe. I give you all the glory. I just, please help me. And I cannot tell you. You know the feeling. Peace came over me. It was unbelievable how I felt. And I went home that day. I was the happiest person. How'd it go today, baby? Well, I had a meeting with God, and everything's gonna be okay. And from that day on, it started. Everything sort of, orders started coming in. I started going, when I go out to scoops, they bought from me. It was 6 months later, I'm moving into another store, a new store, closing that down because I needed bigger. It just started booming like crazy. And over the next 10 years, that little business went from nothing just about to right at $10 million.
How about that?
And that was 7 stores later.
I know. That's the thing, Neil. It's like God lined it all up. When you got in alignment with Him, He lined everything else up, didn't He?
And I tell you what, if people would just give God a chance and ask Him for help and truly believe that He will, and if it's in the Word, that's God don't lie.
That's right.
I found that out. I'm not the best Christian going out and witnessing to people like I should and such as that. I love to do that. One-on-one basis, but I'm not. But and I tell you, it works.
And you've been around the world, and you've been blessed even with that and some other businesses to make millions of dollars, and you've been around a lot of people that have done well. But the good is, Neil, and I know it and see it in you, is that your partner is God.
Absolutely.
And all of the others that you may find a lot of people that have done well, but they don't have the peace you talk about, and that's just the beginning of the story where God took you. I mean, I agree with you. I wish people, especially young couples or people that are financially struggling, I wish they would see the value of just putting God first, and it would save a lot of problems in their lives.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If they go ahead and learn that early and trust me.
Yeah.
That's exactly how it worked with me.
Yeah.
And that's what the Word says.
That's right. He said, prove me if I will not.
That's right.
That's right.
So, why not give it a chance?
Yeah, that's right.
Find out if it works or not.
All right, well, I hope you enjoyed part one of this conversation as much as I did and hearing that cool story about Neil's sporting goods. But if you thought Neil was pretty legit after hearing that story, you just wait till you hear part two of this conversation. When he starts to tell about The Game, this other company that he started right after Neil's sporting goods, that is just the craziest story about how he started this company that he enjoyed and had a passion for, and how it exploded and became a nationally known company fairly quickly. It is just the coolest and craziest story. He is the real deal. So make sure you stay tuned for part two of this conversation, this podcast with Neil, by hitting the subscribe button, whether you're watching on a podcast platform or if you're on YouTube, you're watching, hit the subscribe button so that you'll get notified when this releases. And lastly, make sure you check us out on our new and improved website, bpleadership.com. We've got a lot of cool things that we do here at BP Leadership, this podcast being one of them. But not just do you get to hear Bill talk to these incredible guests and friends that he's got in these conversations. If you go to bpleadership.com, you can sign up for our membership where you get over 200 in-depth and detailed leadership lessons that Bill has done in the last almost 20 years of him in this leadership position. These lessons are just absolute gold. You'll hear anything from how to hire and fire, how to make wise decisions, how to handle conflict and be good at conflict and overcoming those situations, anything and everything you can think of, money, relationships. You'll even get to learn leadership lessons from biblical characters. Just absolute packed full of wisdom, over 200 leadership lessons that you do not want to miss out on, and you can sign up for it for only $9.99 a month. It is only $10 a month. That's it for all this content, and it is ready and available to you on our website. So if you would like to learn more on how to get involved and really take your leadership level to the next standard and take it a step higher by signing up for BP Leadership, make sure you do that now. You can click the link in the description, or you can simply just go to our website, bpleadership.com now. Don't wait another day. Make sure you get that done and take advantage of the time you've got. All right, well, that's all we got for you. I can't wait to show you part three of this conversation. And as always, remember that this is where real leaders are made.